Shri Sai Ram. Dear students, welcome to one and all for the 10th class State Syllabus Science chapter Control and Coordination. In today's class, the whole chapter which we have been divided for our better understanding into 6 parts. Out of them, today we will be discussing about the part 2 which mainly deals with animals, control and coordination, and that is being carried out by the structural and functional unit called Neuron. So, the part 2, today's class of control and coordination will be animal control and coordination and neuron structure. Before we start with today's part, let us recap the previous chapter's key points. In our last class, we discussed about the control and coordination in plants, mainly in higher plants. The higher plant control and coordination is being carried out in 2 ways. One is tropism, the other is plant hormones, which are also called as phytohormones. The tropism is of 5 varieties. One is phototropism, movement of plant towards the light. Geotropism, movement of plant towards the gravity. Hydrotropism, movement of plant towards water. Chemotropism, movement of plant towards the chemicals. Tigmotropism, movement of plant towards the direction of touch, where we also gave an example each for these types of tropism. For phototropism, the sunflower turning towards sun. For geotropism, the roots growing towards the soil. The hydrotropism, the roots of carrot and radish that are mainly well growing in more water content or the humidity in the soil. Chemotropism, the growth of pollen tube towards the ovule to form the zygote in higher plants for reproduction. Tigmotropism, the sweet pea, the tendril that is being growth. Along with this, there is another way of the movement of the plant which is called as nastic movement, which we discussed in our previous class, where the nastic movement is not in the direction of the stimulus. Touch me not plant, which is scientifically called as Mimosa pudica, where when we touch the leaves are going to fold themselves not in the direction of the touch. That is called nastic movement. Then we also discussed about the plant hormones, where we classified them into growth promoters and growth. GR represents growth inhibitors. The growth promoters increases the growth of the plant body, mainly the auxins, the cytokinins and the gibberellins. The growth inhibitors are the ethylene and the abscisic acid. Shortly, we call the abscisic acid as ABA. After recapping our previous class under the control and coordination in plants, let us check out our assignment 1 answers. The movement of stem of a plant towards the light differs from the closing of leaves of a touch-me-not plant. Give reason. The closing of leaves of a touch-me-not plant is a nastic movement, that is, not in the direction towards the stimulus, nor away from the stimulus. Whereas, it is caused due to variations in the environment. Whereas, the movement of a plant towards the light is a tropic movement, that is towards the direction of the stimulus. Hope all of you have returned the correct answers. In short to tell, touch me not plant is a nastic movement, whereas the plant growing towards light is a tropic movement. Write a brief note on plant growth inhibitors. Inhibitors retards, reduces the well development of the plant body. Abscisic acid reverses the growth promoting effects of auxins and gibberellins. The functions: it causes dormancy of seeds, promote the closing of stomata, the loss of RNA, proteins and chlorophyll. Ethylene, shortly we call it as ethene also, produced in cells of higher plants under stress. The functions: ethylene is a gaseous hormone which stimulates the transverse growth of the plant. Over-ripening of the fruits, helps in breaking the dormancy of several plant parts. It's a brief note on growth inhibitors. The third question: how does auxins promote the growth of a tendril around a support? The movement of tendril around a support is due to the auxin hormone. When the tip of tendril comes in contact with the support, more auxin is diffused from the tip towards the side of the tendril. As a result, the side having more auxin grows faster than the one in contact with the support. This causes the tendril to bend around the support. In short, auxins helps in growth. We all know that the auxin is found in the root tip and the shoot tip. The shoot tip that is being exposed to sunlight. Due to that sunlight, the shoot tip that is having auxin, it gets diffused to the side parts of the plant. And the auxin that is more towards the side starts to grow in the beginning faster, and first it grows. With that, we see that the growth of a tendril is being around the main support. Coming back to our today's class, the part 2 of animal control and coordination, and that is mainly due to the response to the stimulus. The response to the stimulus shown by the animal is called irritability. What is irritability? It is a unique feature that is being shown by the animals to the external stimulations. You are observing a picture of a tortoise where the shell of the tortoise is being there, and immediately the tortoise raises its neck to outer environment, and suddenly it closes itself into its shell for protection, where we see that response to the stimulus shown by the animals is called irritability. This response to the stimulus by animals is a living character which we had understood. For the normal functioning of this character and various life processes by higher animals is being controlled and coordinated by 2 organ systems. Here, the 10th standard syllabus mainly deals with the control and coordination of higher animals, and the higher animals, that too of the vertebrates. So we deal directly to the higher animal control and coordination. Then what about the lower graded organisms? They are very simple because of no complexity in their organ system. Their control and coordination is being direct contact with the environmental changes. And dealing with the higher animal control and coordination by 2 systems in the body. One is the nervous system, which is going to have the nerves control and coordination. The second is the endocrine system, or it is also called as hormonal system, or it is also called endocrine gland system. Chemical control and coordination. Higher animal control and coordination is mainly by two systems: nervous system, nerves control and coordination; endocrine gland system, chemical control and coordination. Nervous system. What this nervous system is? It is just a network of nerves that are going to show the response to the stimulations. Network of nerves, what you all are observing here, it's nothing but the network of nerves. Network of nerves is this nervous system. Why it is necessary? To show the response to the stimulus. Then what are the general functions of this nervous system? Controls involuntary actions. You might have studied in your earlier classes, involuntary, not under our control. The respiration, the swallowing of the food, the peristaltic movement of the food, the heartbeat, the urine formation, they are all not under our control. Involuntary actions. Controls and coordinates, the voluntary actions which are under our control. Hands and leg muscles. Helps to think, to reason and memorize. The nervous system. Well-development and healthy nervous system makes the body to be in a well-fitted way. Gives protection to the body by sudden response to stimulus. So by sudden response to the stimulus, which we call it as reflex action. In further classes, we will be studying about that. So nervous system, it is a network of nerves. And what these nerves are? In higher animals, this response to stimulus is carried out by nervous system, which you already understood. And this nervous system in higher animals consists of nerves, which I already told you all that it is a network of nerves. And which are the nerves that are being found in the body. And those nerves are being categorized and they are being arranged in these parts also. Receptors, sense organs. The nervous system in higher animals consists of receptors. Receptors, sense organs, and the sense organs: eye, ear, nose, tongue, the skin. Effectors, muscles and glands. Conductors are the nerves. Neuron. As we came to know that the nervous system is a network of nerves, and the nerve biologically is also called as neuron. So what is neuron? It is a nerve cell. Neuron is the structural and functional unit of the nervous system. Generally we call it as nerve cell. Neuron is the largest cell in the body. Neuron carries messages in the form of electrical signals called nerve impulses. So neuron, it is a structural and functional unit of nervous system. Structure of a nerve cell, which is also called neuron. There are three main components of a neuron. If you observe the structure, You can see the neuron structure. Cyton or cell body, dendrites and axon. More simple way also you can draw this diagram in a simple way to draw the neuron. You can observe here the diagram which I am drawing. In a simple way you can draw, it's a 2 mark one. A myelin sheet is being covered for the axon. A nucleus and also the cytoplasm with nacelle granules are there. You are observing the finger-like projections called as dendrites. Dendrites. So dendrites, axon, the terminal of the axon, and here you see the cell body or the cyton. Cyton. So this is the structure of a nerve cell or a neuron. It has 3 parts: the cyton or the cell body, the dendrites and the axon. Cyton, collecting and transferring the messages from the dendrites. It stores all the impulses that the dendrites have brought to it, and then it also transfers the responses to the axon. That's why we call it here collecting and also transferring the messages. Dendrites send the external stimulus to cyton. So dendrites receives the stimulations from the environment and sends it to the cyton. Axon, the longest part of the neuron, and it conducts the impulses away from the cell body. Very beautifully the nerve cell, where the dendrites carry the stimulations and give it to cyton. The cyton sends the responses through the axon to the effectors region. Synapse. It is a junction between 2 neurons, where one neuron axon combines with the other neuron's dendrites. What is the function of this? The axon, which has carried the responses in the form of electrical impulses, will stick on to the other neuron dendrites and changes to chemical substance. And this chemical substance that is going to again get transferred to the next part, next axon that is connected to that neuron. In this way, there is a continuous flow of the impulses. It may be stimulus or the response with this synapse. It's a junction between 2 adjacent neurons, that is between the axon ending of one and the dendrites of the next. Function of this synapses is just the transferring of the impulses from one neuron to another neuron, so that this response and stimulus reaches to the target part of the body. Types of nerves on the basis of their function. So on the basis of their function, on the basis of the function, the types of neurons we are going to, nerves. First one, sensory nerves. Nerves which carry the messages from sense organs to CNS. What this CNS? In the further class we will discuss. It is abbreviation for CNS is Central Nervous System. So the messages from sense organs reach the CNS through sensory nerves. Motor nerves, the nerves which carry the impulses from where? From CNS to where? To various sense organs of the body. Mixed nerves, the nerves which carry impulses in both the directions. What it means? Stimulations are also carried by the same nerves. Even the responses are also carried by the same nerves. Such nerves are called mixed nerves. And these mixed nerves are found only in spinal cord, which we will discuss further. Sensory nerves carry the messages from sense organs to CNS. Motor nerves carry the messages from CNS to sense organs. Whereas mixed nerves, they act both as sensory nerves as well as motor nerves. And these mixed nerves are found only in spinal cord. Assignment 2. Dear students, today's class, hope all of you have understood the second part out of 6 parts in the chapter Control and Coordination of 10th class, which dealt with the animal control and coordination and more detailedly about the neuron structure and the types of nerves that are found in the higher animals. The assignment 2 for us to have a continuity of this part so that we can be connected to the next coming classes. Define, here it is twice the, my humble request to cancel one the. Define the following terms and name the part of the body which are related. Receptors, effectors and mixed nerves. What happens at the synapse between two neurons? Draw a neat labeled diagram of a nerve cell or a neuron and write the functions of the parts. Dear students, the whole science which I want to repeat once again is that for marks oriented, whole science can be understood and also can be helpful for better learning in 3 areas: diagrams, parts and their functions. Secondly, laws and experiments. Thirdly, equations and symbols and formulas. The reason for telling this, today you have dealing with diagram, you have to draw. Draw it wholeheartedly, neatly the diagram, label the parts, write the functions and get benefited. When you love the subject, it will not be difficult. In Kannada we tell, Ishtapattare kashta illa, manasiddare marga. Where there is a will, there is a way. Aim high, low aim is crime. There are many reasons for failure, but success has only one reason, that is hard work. Let us work hard by liking the subject and also let us get the success only by offering that work to the feet of the God so that it becomes worship. Let success be on all the goodness. Good work is God work. Let us meet once again in the next class for the same chapter which will be continued. Till then, have a good time. by completing the work and recapping the today's class also. Thanking you children, one and all. Jai Sai Ram.